It started with a whisper. I was never religious. Not the type to believe in angels, demons, or whatever horrors parents used to threaten kids with. But after what happened to me, I no longer question those things. I only question if I'm still entirely human. It was late autumn when I inherited my grandmother's house in upstate New York. A decrepit Victorian perched on a hill, cloaked in fog and ivy. She had died alone in that house. No one found her for 3 weeks. They said her body had been badly decomposed, but the look in the coroner's eyes told me the truth was worse than decay. I didn't want to go, but I had no money and nowhere else to live. The first night, I heard it. A low murmur just past the edge of hearing. Not words exactly, more like intent. Malicious, patient. By the third night, the dreams began. I stood in the cellar, surrounded by flickering candlelight, my body unmoving as shadows danced on the stone walls. A voice, rough as broken glass, spoke in a language I didn't understand, but my soul recoiled. I awoke with scratches on my arms. Long, deliberate, not from sleepwalking. Something was in that house with me. The floorboards creaked when I wasn't walking. Cold spots formed in rooms with no windows. I'd close a door and return to find it wide open. The cellar door was always locked, but the key would appear on my nightstand. Every morning, every damn morning, I began losing time. Hours passed without memory. I'd find myself in different clothes, candles burned down to stubs in the hallway, mirrors smeared with words I didn't remember writing. Let me in. Let me speak. My voice changed. People on the phone would ask if I was sick. Strangers stared too long. I'd see something flicker behind my eyes in reflective surfaces, too fast to catch, too real to deny. I started recording myself while I slept. What I saw nearly broke me. I sat upright at 2:47 a.m., staring at the ceiling. For 4 hours, unmoving. Then I whispered something in a guttural rasp. The hollow must be filled. I called Father Delaney, an exorcist in Albany known to take on the cases the church refused. When he stepped into the house, he staggered, clutching his rosary. "It's old," he muttered. "Older than language. It's not possessing you. It's becoming you." He insisted we start immediately. I didn't argue. We set up in the living room. Salt lines, crucifixes, relics, prayers. The temperature dropped 10 degrees. The lights burst. When he began the rite, my body convulsed. And then I wasn't in control anymore. I watched from somewhere beneath myself, a silent witness as my mouth twisted, as my voice fractured into something inhuman. I hurled invectives in tongues I've never learned. The walls bled. The house moaned. Delaney's eyes filled with terror. "It knows your name," he said. "It wore someone you loved." I saw her face, my grandmother's, flash in the mirror. But her eyes were hollow. Her mouth smiled too wide. I no longer knew when the thing was speaking and when I was. Memories bled. I couldn't tell if a thought was mine or if it had been placed there. I dreamed of crucifixes melting, of crawling through tunnels of flesh, of my body splitting open, something clawing out of my spine. I begged Delaney to kill me. He refused. Instead, he found a text, the Abyss Gospel, a forbidden rite that required a sacrifice to cast the entity back. One soul, willingly given. I agreed. I was already lost. But the demon laughed. "You can't give what I already own." I relived memories that weren't mine. A monastery in 1342. A girl burning alive in 1695. A man swallowed by shadow in 1812. Each a vessel, each a prison. It had worn them all. It fed on them. It was ancient hunger, and I was dessert. The rite began. Symbols scrawled in my blood, candles of bone and ash. Delaney chanted. I screamed. The walls cracked. My body levitated, then bent backwards, spine cracking like twigs. The entity showed itself. A figure of shifting mass, all mouths and eyes and whispering promises. It hovered behind me, tethered by veins of black smoke. I could feel its thoughts, its joy. It didn't want to leave. It wanted to be me. Delaney began the final chant. The entity screamed through me, 1,000 voices in one. My body bled from the eyes, the mouth, the pores. I felt it pulling, ripping, trying to hold on. And then I saw it. A spark. Deep inside. Me. I reached for it. Not the demon. Me. I remembered who I was. My name. My mother's voice. The taste of coffee. The smell of rain. I screamed it into the darkness. I am not yours. The thing shrieked, a sound that shook the world. And then it was gone. Delaney died 3 days later. His body imploded, bones shattered inward, organs liquefied. The church buried him in silence. I left the house, burned it, scattered the ashes in 4 rivers. But sometimes I still hear the whisper, in the silence between thoughts, in the mirror when I blink, in my own voice when I speak words I don't remember learning. I think it left something behind, or maybe it never really left. After all, I let it in, and within me, it waits.